All right, how about something a little bit, something, I was like thinking of like, what's something physical and that I don't do as part of my cardiology self-experimentation, but it's like something I've heard about in a very particular context. And so for this, an increasing understanding attempt, I've decided to consult and probe, so to speak, a family medical guide. So this is the American Medical Association Family Medical Guide from the 1980s, Random House edition. And I'm Tanis Sheeher of Seattle, and it is Wednesday, 15 July 2026 AD. And I chose for the pages, let's see, I'm trying to differentiate in the video description the two different guides I've been consulting, so maybe not page numbers in the video description, at least at this point in time. Pages 415 and 416. Dry gangrene, wet gangrene. The condition here is gangrene. All right, so what the heck is that? Page 415, quote, gangrene is dead flesh. Its characteristic black color is a sign that the skin and often underlying muscle and bone are dead, end quote. So it talks about, so it differentiates, there's two, there's dry and wet. And the difference between dry and wet is one involves an infection by bacteria, which is wet gangrene. And then if there's not that corresponding infection by bacteria, then it's called dry gangrene. And this is one I've heard of for military. So like if somebody gets wounded in the military and there's like an open wound and it gets infected and they can't clean the wound, it might get or there's a wound and and it's like an open wound. Then if it gets infected, the flesh might start to like rot and die, and then they call that gangrene. And so this is one that I've actually looked up a little bit and been like, so that's how it was like told to me. I was growing up, and this medical guide is consistent with that. It also, so quote, says page 415 again, it occurs when the flow of blood to certain tissues is stopped or reduced, end quote. It has it can also be caused by frostbite, so if something gets really cold. It's a very interesting. It's a, let's see, it's okay. It's like, is there any chance for survival or the flesh is dying? So the treatment here, there is actually different between the two. So for the one without the bacterial infection, they say that circulation, they want to try and because like the blood flow has been impaired, so there's a blood component, so essentially the flesh is dead or dying, and so then want to put blood in there, you know, kind of shuttle in the supplies to heal the area. So there talks about circulation, trying to restore or fix, improve that. That's page 416, and that's for the dry one, so the one without the bacteria infecting. And then for the one with infection, it's like note to mental self of serving in the military, is if it's wet, so there's a bacteria infecting it, then the infection or infected area might have to be removed. So, and in addition to the blood flow thing, it's like, well, yeah, but the blood flow, if it's feeding the bacteria, might want to like cut the flesh off. So in that sense, it's a rather dire condition from my perspective. So that's also page 416. And then because it's you know, to in either case it says, you know, antibiotics might be desirable to prevent infection, right? So if there's open flesh, so to speak, you don't want it to become infected or further infected. But this is one I had heard about from like people who had served in the military or family in the military, that kind of thing. Gangrene is one. I think, it portrayed in movies, perhaps. But I was like, that's one. So essentially, if there's a wound and it might not be treated, I would myself be concerned. So this is one for this picking and this probing, very military service specific. I think if I had any like questions, but can the flesh grow back? It's like one of those, you know, put that with like Eternal Youth and Infinity Diet and like Wolverine from X-Men and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, the butt could have come back. You know, isn't that flesh? Yeah, that's, I think for the most part, the probing here is contextualizing, and one, you know, kind of open-ended, I suppose, question.